In my lifetime, I've travelled the internet, observing specimens from all walks of life, from the militant ginger bitch to the humble dog fucker. But it was while navigating the treacherous jungles of the LGBT collective that I stumbled across what at first seemed a fairly common archetype, a pair of angry lesbians. While taking a short rest and documenting their behaviour, I realised I had unwittingly found a channel ran by an incredibly rare subspecies of the angry lesbian model. That is, the type that think they're funny. A comedy channel for women, by women. And I present my findings to you.
I had a little coffee and for some reason I'm like watering at the eyes right now.
I'm watering at the eyes.
Here we have the lesbians themselves during the opening sketch, a prime example of the humour to come. We can expect such techniques as using words for other words and general giggling. And that was quite literally the funniest thing they'll do.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Pillow Talk Monday.
Gets me riled up. This week's topic.
The specimen known as Adriana holds the markings of a typical lesbian, but is dominant in her leading the direction of the conversation to what riles her up. This isn't unusual in such a pairing.
Straight people.
And thus we see the defining factor which separates her from your standard run-of-the-mill carpet licker, an angry lesbian, which biologically shares an astounding 94% of DNA with rabid dogs, and is characterized by an intense dislike of anyone outside of her tribe.
This week we are talking about straight people, also known as allies.
The finger quotes, I have observed, are a standard gesture from this particular species used to undermine the meaning of a word, but is also used to limber up those fingers for later use.
Why they get an A in the LGBTQ spectrum, I don't know. You're not special!
Oh my! A rare glimpse at the supposed hierarchy of life from the eyes of a wild dyke. Though the tone seemed playful, the one known as Adriana will bare her fangs should anyone challenge her on it. This is a passive-aggressive attempt at retaining order, or rather, the order she desires.
I don't think they have an A anymore.
Well, it stands for asexuals. Being a decent human being gets you in the community? I don't think so.
Is that a free pass?
The community she speaks of is the well-known LGBT tribe, of which there are several initiations one must pass before gaining entry.
I don't know, there's like maybe 0.8% of people watching this are allies.
In this case, the use of finger quotes, I suspect, was the aforementioned limbering up in preparation for a lesbian orgy, known in scientific circles as a clam bake. This is shown by the practiced movement of smelling her fingers directly afterwards.
And they're probably like, but what can I do? Like, how can I help gay people? Like, how can I be a better ally?
The one known as Adriana now flexes her muscles further as she assumes control of how many straight people think, while the more recessive specimen known as Sarah serves only to remark on the comments already made.
Well, we have some suggestions. This isn't just for allies, it's for all straight people, because
straight people are the problem.
The smaller of the pair now officially displays her disdain for those outside of her tribe, cementing her status within the subspecies by vocalizing, completely without irony, the same discrimination faced by her own people some time ago.
She said it. I didn't say it. Sarah Rotella said it. I did not say that.
Perhaps sensing some danger, the larger of the pair makes sure we all know who said that crap. A light demonstration of how those who fight for social justice will throw you under the bus to save their own arse.
This one is actually gonna help you more than it helps us.
At this point, I scoffed so hard that the pair almost discovered my whereabouts, but I thankfully remained undetected.
Oh, so if you're like an owner of a store or a restaurant or something, like put a pride flag in the window.
And now we see an ingenious plot to spread her own territory with minimum effort, using her influence as a YouTube channel that is likely still fucking monetized!
So it shows that you're supportive, and most likely we're gonna come in and shop there.
At the promise of a monetary incentive, Adriana reinforces her request whilst at the same time coming across as so easily influenced that she will spend her income in a certain establishment because of a fucking flag.
It's more about the shopping.
More about the shopping, and it's like gay people are actually physically attracted to pride flags.
She then goes one step further and suggests every member of the LGBT tribe is attracted to bright colours like a moth to the flame.
So when we see a pride flag in a storefront, we're just like, like, oh, you sell really crappy clothes, but I'm gonna go in there because you have a pride flag.
And with that, gay conversion camps all around the world changed their decor.
You have a meat shop? I'm vegan, but I'm going in there.
A second attempt at humour, by my count, though many may have been so feeble as to go unnoticed.
Another way you can help is by putting more LGBTQ characters in your shows and your movies.
The one known as Sarah implies ignorance of the fact that the mainstream media is already riddled with LGBT characters, many of which have been shoehorned in to appease what appears to be the childish desires of a demographic who believe they should be treated more favourably than others because of their sexuality.
Although, you know what? You can just make all your characters LGBTQ.
Perhaps another attempt at humour, because that is fucking laughable.
I want to watch Lost with all LGBTQ characters.
Right?
It's just a
my
better
gosh.
show.
We now see the superiority rear its ugly head once again, as if any show with all gay characters wouldn't be all about LGBT issues, and quite frankly, fuck that.
Charlize Theron is bisexual in Atomic Blonde, and it's a great movie.
Because of that reason!
The smaller of the pair cites a recent film about some spy bitch, despite its success not owing to the main character's sexuality in the slightest. This is a common tactic from the angry lesbian to give bullshit reasons for something either flourishing because of homosexuality or diminishing because of it, with no other elements being taken into account.
And just like to help get your like straight brains like around like making a character, like how do I do it?
Sarah goes so far as to propose straight people have a different brain to homosexuals. Judging by their previous dialogue, the notion that straight people are inferior is not out of the question.
They're
Like-
so weird.
They're just people.
In a remarkable exhibition of sheer stupidity, Sarah fails to see how every show is made up of just people, and therefore her problems don't exist and her solutions are irrelevant.
That are better than you. That was me.
Adriana said it.
I said it.
Adriana Leonardo said it.
Whatever.
Adriana, sensing the pair are losing an argument to no one but themselves, falls back on the idea that homosexuals are superior to straight people, which, at the time of my observation, made me want to punch her smug face.
Another way that allies can help us poor little LGBTQ people is watch shows and movies that have LGBTQ characters in it.
Astoundingly, the larger of the pair now refers to those she had deemed better as poor, and require the support of a heterosexual audience to watch something for the sole reason of it having a gay character. Now, I've seen a lot of bullshit in my time, but this one really takes the biscuit.
Don't be like, that's that gay show, or
Yeah.
oh, that's that gay movie. I don't
Right.
watch it because I can't relate. I'm sorry, what can't you relate to? Being a human being?
It was at this point I felt the need to dive out of the bushes in which I was hiding and ask if they could relate to being a human. But I refrained in the knowledge that it could put my life in danger, and I, as a documenter, have taken an oath to never interfere.
Falling in love? Going through conflict?
The instrument I used to measure self-awareness hit a new low as Adriana listed the ingredients in practically every film ever made, but is still under the impression we need more characters from her own tribe even though it wouldn't change a damn thing.
Lesbian porn. Avoid that. Don't be like, I watch lesbian movies all the time.
I know what lesbians are like.
If only Sarah knew that lesbians in porn are giving them a better image than lesbians on YouTube.
We should have a national holiday. And I don't mean like Pride Month. We need a holiday where we can get off school and get off work and just like celebrate us.
Taking the superiority further, the smaller of the pair goes so far as to suggest extra leave on the account of sexuality. As she said this, I know you're wondering how they're managing to fit both of their fat fucking heads on the screen right now, and believe me, it baffles me too.
National Xena Day.
National RuPaul Day.
I think he deserves his own day.
It's a day where it's about learning to love yourself.
It had been made quite clear that this pair of angry lesbians were already well versed in how to love themselves, and I tried to take my leave, but found I wouldn't be able to exit the area without drawing attention, so I had to stay and listen to the whole bastard thing.
Here's another thing. It kind of relates back to the shows and movies a little bit.
'Kay.
But gay superheroes or trans superheroes. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ah yes, the trademark position of the angry lesbian, an argument on representation without looking into the issue in question, known more commonly as talking out of your arse.
How about for straight people, Every time that an LGBTQ person goes to like work or school, you like give them a standing ovation.
This is not a common tactic, but it is one I've seen on many an occasion to encourage those you call your enemy to act in a way that you will later deem patronizing.
Because of all the bullshit they have to put up with.
Yeah, we got up in the morning and came to work and saw your ugly ass. We deserved a standing ovation for it.
And the instrument I used to measure self-awareness melted in my hands as the larger of the pair failed to realize she's a fuck ugly bitch herself.
Here's another way you can be an ally and support us is, so if you're like in a bathroom and you see a trans person in the same bathroom as you,
What would you do?
In what seemed to be a last-ditch attempt at not coming across as a complete moron, the fuck ugly bitch visits an old friend, the bathroom argument. And though any other angry lesbian would follow it up with, "Why don't you shut the fuck up?" I was surprised at what she said next.
Why don't you just like shut the fuck up
Unprecedented.
and just like let them pee? Like, well, that's it.
It seems so simple
It's
when
so
you say it
easy.
out loud. We have all been peeing in the same pools for generations.
What's the difference?
And yet these are the same people who would freak the fuck out if they saw a man going into a woman's bathroom. This is down to the angry lesbian's evolution, which has resulted in them not being able to think an argument through.
And finally, if you meet a trans person that's serving in the army, you could just say thank you for your service.
This, while seeming like a harmless statement, is coming from the type of person who feels they deserve gratitude for simply going to work in the morning, thereby reducing any thanks given to a soldier to its lowest value.
And then just like leave it at that. So, I mean, if you follow those, I don't know, the 8, 9, whatever. Simple.
Just simple.
Simple things.
By simple things, I'm unsure as to whether they're referring to their directions or to themselves. I will leave that for the audience to decide.
Of being a decent human being, and then we can all get along. It'd be great. It'd be a wonderful, much better world.
Send this video to one of your straight friends.
And wonderfully, we circle back around to straight people being the problem for the sole reason of being straight. If you observe the failed attempts at being humorous whilst also being heinous towards a certain sexuality in implying they all share the same traits and all contribute towards the same problem, I think you will find this is indeed a new subspecies of the angry lesbian, who aren't just angry and aren't just stupid, but also think they're hilarious. I submit this study for your approval. Thanks for watching, guys. Check me out over on VidMe because YouTube is an actual cunt and I swear I'm getting shut down soon. And please consider becoming a patron because, man, that's all we have now. The links are in the description, and remember, if straight people are the problem, why do we keep making gays?